Good evening, everybody. Yeah, this is Parvati, HR manager from 360 Digit MG. Yeah, I'm here today to give you all a session on resume building. Please hold on. Let me share my screen. Yeah. So today, this session is all about resume building and interview tips. And coming to the agenda for the day, we will go through like what is a resume exactly is, and why do we need a resume, and what are the tips for writing a resume, and why are resumes important for employers, advantages of having a resume, and types of interviews, and do's and don'ts for interview preparation. And I'll make you all go through how to prepare a LinkedIn profile. Like last week, there were questions regarding the LinkedIn profile and sample profiles for freshers. So I will be showing them live today as well. Okay, so let's get started. So yeah, what is a resume actually? No, resume is nothing but it's a word, or you know, whoever has done their graduation or completed their studies or whatever it is, and who are in, they are hunting for a job. Uh, they will be hearing one resume until they get onboarded, that is until they get a proper job, and that is, that word is called resume. And resume is nothing but which is a document that lists our education, work experience, skills, achievements, and whatnot, all the things which we are doing throughout our professional career. Okay. And successful resumes attract the potential companies to invite the candidates for the job postings or the jobs they have, for the job requirements they have. If your resume looks good, and whatever experience you are holding, which is properly drafted or which is properly put on a resume, and that makes the interviewer or that makes the HR or whoever is screening your profile for a particular job position, they will be inviting you for the job requirement, right? Their own JD, they are looking for. Okay. So it's nothing but it is considered as essential information for an employer. They can weigh up know how suitable you are for a role, and if they want to invite for you to for that particular job interview or not, if your resume suits better fit for this position or not. All this will be decided seeing upon your profile, even when they don't interact with you personally over the phone or call. If your resume seems to be interesting over the paper or over the document, whatever we are sending it as a soft copy or digital copy or hard copy, yeah, if your resume looks good, then yeah, they will be offering you for the job interview, right? So whole and soul, resume is the one thing which makes you to go for an interview. Okay. And why does a resume required for a employer? Numerous people, many number of people, a stock of people or a bunch of people may be applying for a job role, isn't it? So how do they screen initially if they want someone to get them into the job interview for or not? So seeing your resume, they will shortlist if that particular person is apt for that particular role or not, right? If the entire information the summary, they look at the summary of your skills, your talents and achievements, everything come in place when they look at your resume. It's called as a thing which can be sell by yourself, like you need to sell yourself for potential employers. So it doesn't matter whether the resume is soft copy or digital copy, or even it is a hard copy. If you are appropriately having a appropriate resume in your hand, or you're sending or submitting or sending or applying for a job role, when you have appropriate resume, then I'm sure that you'll get an interview. Okay, so let's see some of the tips, how to do a resume or write a resume. Okay, there is no such thing called sample resume, or your resume should look just like the way he wrote or she wrote. For freshers and all, no, we will be having resumes in hand or sample things in our this thing, but no, it's not mandatory for your resume to be exactly seen like the opposite person's resume. Okay, you should be able, when you have the whole and soul experience, then you should be in a stage where you need to put everything in a proper way. And for writing your resume, you need to follow a couple of things which will help you to prepare or document a proper profile. Okay, like you need you can review industry leading examples, like people, you can go through LinkedIn profiles, or yeah, always Google is an open source tool where you can find n number of examples for whatever you have, for framing the sentences and all, like how to put. And you can consider asking sample resumes, sample formats will be there over LinkedIn, or sample formats can be found on Google for writing the I mean to say, preparing the resumes. Like you can consider the formats which are given as the examples over Google to write your this thing. Like it can be freshers or experienced or whatever it is, you can take the examples, like how to frame, like first you need to give your contact information, right? Then write the summary or objective of your own profile. Like objective doesn't mean nothing much, it is like a header, or the one which attracts the people. Like if you are a data science fresher, you can write as I'm a data science fresher done with my projects and looking for a new assignment, or a data science fresher or data science intern looking for new project, something like this. No, not more than 2 to 3 lines, or max to max 3 to 4 lines, not more than that. And you need to apply the fonts on your profile which look professional, not one big, one small, something like that, but no, need to apply the fonts which look professional. Whatever font is you're using, you, across the resume, maintain the same font so that it will look good. And need to include relevant information. Whatever information you are including in your profile, make sure it is relevant, not um you make sure that no, if a interviewer asks you questions and you need not put a blank face, or you should not be in a stage where you're not able to answer the questions. Okay, and you need to organize everything by importance, like how are projects important in your profile, what kind of projects. If you're a fresher, you need to include, you can include your academic projects. If you're a experienced person, you need not include your academic projects. Whereas if you're a fresher, yeah, yes, I absolutely agree, you need to include all your academic projects. Okay, and if you're a experienced person, you need to include your job role and responsibilities in your past or previous, whatever experience you have, you're in a chronological order, you need to add all those things. And consider active language, like active language means the past tenses, present tenses, everything should be uh, corrected. Like if you have received a certification in the past, it should like received a certificate from so and so so and so organization for so and so role or something else, but not no that sentence formation is very important while you write a resume. Okay, if they read at your resume, it should like it should sound it's a professional's resume rather than some 10th class or any roadside wala has written as a resume. It shouldn't look like that. So it should be apt and it should be good enough when they read your resume and all the sentence formations, the vocabulary, the grammatical mistakes. Nowadays we have the Grammarly or something like that, called the tools, which through which we can check our grammatical mistakes as well. So we can also take help of such tools too, and make sure you proofread and make edits before you submit your profile to any of the leading or any of the job requirement or any of the job opening or job posting done in you are trying to apply for. Because when you get the proofread, you may not find mistakes in your profile, but the opposite person who is, you will obviously have a person proofread your resume who is experienced, right? When you get experienced person read the or proofread your profile, they will let you know what are the mistakes are in your profile, and what kind of changes you need to do, what kind of if you need to add anything else, like if you miss to add in education part, if you have just given your college degree, whatever degree you received and the year, but need to include your institute name. If you're missing to include for some you should have missed to include your institute's name or college or university's name, right? So when you get it done by a proofreaded by an experienced person, they will let you know like these are the changes where you need to include the university name as well. Yeah, people. There are people. I'm giving a simple example because there are people who are not aware of such things as well. Okay, so this way you can get them proofreaded and then submit or send your profile across to the JD or job requirement you have received. Okay. Why are resumes important for employers? I said, right? Like resumes accompanied by customized cover letters get sent to employers to determine your eligibility and qualifications for a job. Employers use resumes to get a deeper understanding of candidate skills, strengths, and experience, right? So as I said, when once they see your resume, when they look at it, they will understand, if they are looking for a data science fresher who's good at Python. Okay, when you're giving your skills also, make sure you rate yourself on the skills like programming languages like SQL, or if you're good at artificial intelligence, machine learning, or NLP, something like that. Whatever experience you have, try when you obviously you will give them in your skills field, right? Skills area, right? When you give them, make sure no you get you give your rating as well, like out of 5 how good you are at rating yourself on Python, and how good you are yourself. You can rate yourself how good you are on AI or machine learning out of 5, like 4, 3, whatever it is. Just give your rating there. No, by seeing that they will understand, okay, fine, this person is good at so and so area, so this profile can be is applicable for so and so role, so let's interview him for so and so. If you're good at statistics, yeah, give that on your profile and let them know that you're good at stats, and you're no you can give 5 on 5 for stats, something like that. No, when you give such things, when you give such things, they will able to understand like where your strengths are, where your profile fits to be, and where your profile can be pushed for moving for the further process and all. These can be understood. Okay. Yeah, next thing is advantages. How What are the advantages of having a proper profile? No, um like what are the advantages are like, sell your skill, to grab an interview, to brand yourself. It will last a first impression of yourself on that, on wherever you send your profile across. Like if your profile is good enough, then you'll have a different impression. The employer will have a different impression. Okay, even if your profile doesn't seem to be fit for that particular role, then uh, they can, they will try to recollect your profile. If your profile looks good, they will try to recollect your profile when they have another opportunity which suits better. Okay, this way they will get back to you. Okay, one, to sell your skills. what does it mean by to sell your skills? Yeah, obviously they will looking at your resume and the way you give your interview and all. There is nothing but selling ourselves, right? You you get paid for the skills you have, right? So that is what one of the good, one of the best, one of the first advantage we have of having a good profile. And to grab an interview, what does it mean by grab an interview? Like, yeah, as I said, once they see a resume, if it looks cheap, I mean it's a good fit for your profile, yeah, they will call you for an interview. And grabbing the opportunity and cracking the interview, it is all up to us. How we crack the interview, how do we prepare for it, and how to crack the interview is on all us. But when you prepare a good profile, that is where they call you for the interview, right? And to brand yourself, yeah, it was like a brand for us. As I said, quick but lasting first impression. uh, when they have something else in their mind, or else if they have onboarded you also, they have onboarded you and they have given you the opportunity for um cracking the I mean for the interview, and you got that opportunity and you received the offer letter. Okay, it past 6 months you have been working with that organization, and your manager thinks about you, your manager, the person who has interviewed you, they have another role for you. So they and your experience can be counted there as well. So what they'll think, okay, fine, I've seen that resume and that profile looked so good, so let me talk to that person and ask him to give an interview for this internal position as well. Something, these impressions will be always there when the interviewer or HR is looking at your resume, right? Types of interviews. What are the types of interviews? Now we have telephonic round of interviews, panel interviews, individual interviews, and video interviews. Telephonic round of interviews are usually the part of the initial selection process. Now, when a person has submitted their resume, and the first thing they will undergo is a telephonic process where they will just check the communication skills, how you good are in understanding in English, and how good you are in giving a understanding the conversation, giving reply. And they'll do the basic screening, like how you good you are at Python or AI or machine learning or NLP or art programming, whatever it is on your key skills, they will try to screen. Those are called telephonic round of interviews. What are panel interviews? Panel interviews are no where no more than three to four people will be taking your panel interview, where these are generally technical rounds. Once you are done with the initial selection process, the technical rounds takes place, where the technical rounds um, they the technical rounds, they have more than three to four people asking you questions on technical strengths, or whatever strengths you have. uh, yeah, sorry, in whatever strengths you have, they'll be asking in panel interviews. Okay, there will more than three to four persons. Okay, individual interviews, yeah, we know, right? One-to-one interviews, there are individual interviews. And video interviews, yeah, usually it would be uncommon at entry level, but now no, due to travel budget and as well as due to this pandemic situations, there are video interviews conducting, like through Zoom or Google or Skype. All these kind of video interviews are taking place, right? Okay, due to this pandemic, they are due to pandemic, these are only because to avoid com- uh, have the traveling this thing, they are conducting this video interviews. Okay, and also when you are giving the video interviews, please make sure that you are having a proper background. And when you are giving the video interview through computer or through phone, whatever it is, if you are giving through phone, let the interviewer know prior that you don't have the facility of. Nowadays everyone are having a laptop or computer at their this thing, but in just in case if you're not having also, yeah, let the interviewer know that you're not having the laptop, or you have some challenge giving the interview through laptop or phone, laptop or computer. So is the reason you're giving the interview through phone. So yeah, when yeah, and let them know prior, and not only letting them know prior, letting them giving the information prior in prior basis, also when you're giving the video interview, make sure you're looking at the camera, not here and there, looking here and there and giving the answers. No, it's not the proper way. Even when we are giving the in-person interviews, we need to look at the, I mean, you need to maintain that eye contact while giving the interview, right? So when you are giving the video interviews, especially on Google, Zoom, or Skype, whatever mode of interview it is, you need to maintain that eye contact. Not only, I mean, you need to look at the camera and then give the interview. That will show how confident you are facing the people. Okay, starting you might struggle. I mean, you might have that small thing, facing so many people, or facing people directly over call, or face to face, whatever it is. You will be having that the threat. I mean, you will not you panic, you'll be have panicking to give an interview. You'll face that panic. But later on, yeah, when you feel comfortable, take a long breath and make yourself comfortable, and then give the interview. Lack of confidentiality also, will be a backdrop, if they want to take a decision on your end. So communication skills are also equally important, even if you are having that key strength. Okay, if you're good at the skills also, the communication, I mean, you need not speak so fluently, but still you need to understand what the opposite person is asking, and you should be able to give the answer also in a confident manner. Okay, so this is about all about types of interviews. Resume, like, what are do's and don'ts, or no, what should you do? Like, your resume gets you to the interview, like, you need to add your degree experience, which adds to your resume. That's okay. And in we need to use the right keywords over the resume. Like, you need to know what are right keywords to be put on the resume and what are not the one. And with what are you should use the keywords which you're comfortable with. Like, if you're a data science fresher, data mining, machine learning, regression, all these kind of keywords should be used. And you should be very cautious when filling up the profile with the keywords, because when if you're not comfortable using sorry if you're not comfortable giving explanation with those projects, you need not use those keywords on your profile. Because if they ask you something related to your projects, or on related to the skills or whatever it is, you should be in a stage to uh, give the proper answer. Okay, and no dummy projects should be included, and no academic projects unless you're a fresher should be included. And training details, not all training details. You can just give your certification, and certification number is not required, but the way in which field you are certified with, that should be given. And yeah, please do not copy the project from other profiles, because I've been personally seeing, like, not copying exactly. Like, if you should have that real time experience with the projects, then only you'll be having the subject knowledge, right? If you have a project leading, 4 to 5 members are working for the project, and only one person is working on the project personally, and putting all his efforts to complete that project, and the other four are sitting just like that, or not taking anything, but still they take the credit of completing your project and the benefit of the project. That is not good. Only that person will get the credit. The other four persons, according to me, they are fools. Because when they want to have the job, few organizations are there where they are just asking questions, or they just screening on the projects you have done. Like, if you have worked on any NLP project, they'll ask you questions only on NLP. Or if you have done any projects on machine learning, they will ask questions on machine learning. These kind of things are going on. So if you when you are not able to answer them properly, then they'll get a different kind of impression, right? Not only on you, on the person who has sent your resume as well. So the feedback will be like, he's not even able to answer the questions now. on the own project he has done, he couldn't answer the question, so is the reason he was rejected. This kind of feedback will be received. So instead of getting all those things, when you are attending a training, or when you're working on a project, then it is not only training projects like data science related project. Even if you're working for an academic project, you make sure you put all your efforts in, and you need not lead the project, but still try to understand what is going on in the project, what tools are being used, what is the business problem, what are the business objectives. All this should be noted, and you should be aware of the process which is going in the project. These all will help when you try to give an interview. Okay, so these are the things you need to keep in mind while preparing a resume. Yeah, and how do you explain a project in interview? Yeah, and always, we have seen people who, when they ask to explain the project, they will just say like, I've worked on this project, and this is the name of the project, and we completed from so and so this thing, and this was a business benefit. That's it. But no, never. You should be like a storyteller when you tell a project. Like when you explain a project, it should be like a storyteller. You need to start by telling your business processes. You need to explain what are the bottlenecks in the process. You need to let them know like what all data you have collected related to the problem, what are the EDA techniques you have used, what are the model buildings, and how did you do the model validation and iteration, and what are the business benefits. These are the things you need to explain while telling a project. Like, see, the project structure should be like, it should start from like what the project objective is, like what is the objective of the project, I mean the business problem. Okay, and what is the data collected, from where is the data collected, what are the sources you have collected the data from, and what are the EDA techniques used, methods and algorithms which are used, what kind of algorithms you have used. Because they will ask you when they interview, they'll also ask to write you algorithms as well. If you're good at Python, they will ask you algorithm to write algorithms in Python, whatever it is, and what are the tools you have used to complete that project. Yeah, as I said, no, what data is considered, how did you analyze the data, and what are the methods you have used to analyze the data, and what is the accuracy level, and how did it go to the deployment stage, like what model deployment you have done, and final report with the numbers which you have attained by doing that project. And last but not the least, the business benefits to the client. What business benefits did you bring in by doing that project? These all things should be explained when you are asked for telling the project. Okay, that is how they will try to understand like what was your role in project, and how did you put all your efforts in completing project. These will be taken into account when you explain a project in a proper manner. Okay, yeah. Next, like how do you prepare yourself for attending an interview? Spend at least 2 hours daily when you are in search of a job. Not 2 hours, at least spend at least 1 hour properly on the job you are I mean, if you are really interested, or if you are look in if you are in search of a job, and if you are serious enough to grab an interview and attend a job, yeah, please prepare for yourself on the um all the trainings you took, or the skills you have. Use mind maps for quick references. Go through training recorded videos multiple times. It will give you more and more information. You can get that real time experience, and complete all the assignments on time. Write articles on different topics by doing research work. Practice Python and R programming skills. If needed, try to learn SQL. Try to know the trend. Try to know the trend in the market, like what is going on, what kind of skills are in boom. They like what kind of skills they are asking in the job descriptions. Try to Google. You will be coming through the job descriptions from some or the other way, right? Try to know what are the things going on in market, and take random data sets and apply concepts which you have learned. Constantly read articles or blogs to learn subject in detail. Try to attend workshops and competitions that will help you, to put your more and more efforts towards growing your career. Try to help others to solve their bugs. Also work on lot of projects which will give you real time experience. Okay. Not only that, sorry, yeah, not only that, along with it, like, if tomorrow, if not tomorrow, down the road, they'll give you some time to prepare yourself for an interview, right? When they give the time to prepare yourself for an interview, try to research about that company. If it's for XYZ company, try to know more about that company or that institution which you are no which you have submitted your profile for, for which your profile has been shortlisted for the next round of interview. Make sure you have read all the literature they have sent you, and literature means the JD or the job description they have sent you. No, make yourself prepared on the JD. If they ask any questions on the JD, you need to be in a position to answer them. And try to know about their mission and vision. Try to know if it is a product based company or service based company, what are the services they provide, what kind of products they do. All this kind of stuff you need to prepare yourself and get the information from internet, and try to know additional information. And see if you have any people or no references in that organization, because they will be, it will be a very easy process. If you get to know anyone from that institute, and you can always ask them, for the inside information. They will be letting you know this real story of that organization or company, because they are already working in that organization, right? So they'll give more and more information regarding that organization, so that you will be more prepared to give the interview there. And have at least 5 to 6 questions ready. If you are done with the interview, obviously the interviewer will be asking if you have any questions for me. Instead of putting a blank face, you can have ask them questions like, what is my role with this organization, or down the road, what is my career, if I want to plan my career with this organization, what are the benefits I get. Benefits means professional way, what skill, what kind of things you can learn from the organization, what is the benefit you're getting from the organization by joining them. These kind of things can be asked. Okay. And if you are if you have the opportunity of getting the mock interviews by the trainers, yeah, yes, please make sure you attend the mock interviews on the JDs which you are going to present yourself for an organization. This will help you, to answer the questions more confidently. Okay. Yeah. Data science interview preparation, as I said, understand the different roles, skills, and interviews. Try to understand the job description. Like if you have any questions, ask the trainer, or if any senior person is there, ask them. Let them know the questions you have regarding the job description. Get them cleared and get ready for interviews. Build your digital presence, like if that is what I said while giving a video interview. May you need not you even if it is a face to face interview, I mean in person interview, physical in person interview, or online interview, online in person interview, it should be, I mean, you should be dressing professionally, and prepare your resume and start applying. Telephonic screening, get prepared, get through the assignments. Post interview steps, yeah, as I said, you all prepare yourself for the interview steps. Make yourself prepared for attending an interview priorly. Okay. Yeah. And do's and don'ts, yeah, the interview is a two-way process, and you should use the opportunity, obviously, right? Like interview is a two-way process. You will get the benefit of getting the job, whereas the employer will also get a good candidate for his work to be done, right? So it is a two-way process. And please remember, early is on time, on time is late and late is unacceptable, right? Early is on time. I mean, early means need not join the session or join the interview link or go there. If you, even if you are going for an in-person interview, need not go 1 or 2 hours early, but make sure you are at the place of interview. Or if you are joining through video link or Zoom link or Google Meet, whatever it is, make sure you are joining it at least 10 minutes before or 15 minutes before is always okay. It doesn't I mean, it is nothing harm if you join it late, okay. Sorry, join early. It does, if you join 15 minutes early, nothing bad, they'll not get any bad impression. But just think once, if you join 1 minute late also, they will count that. They'll say that you're 1 minute late for the interview. This is how they conduct the interview. So early is on time, okay. So make sure you are available 15 minutes ahead. If you are joining the link, join 15 minutes ahead. And if you are going in person, try to be half an hour before. That will be help you a lot, okay. And appropriate clothing, dress, you should look professionally good, okay. Mind your body language. No, if you are going for a face to face or no in person physical interview also, see that your sitting posture is straight and no, not too many handshake. And when you give a handshake also, it should be a firm handshake, okay. And when they are asking questions, avoid giving yes or no answers, okay. It is much more effective or attractive if you go on to give examples to illustrate your point. If they're asking any question and if you have any example in your mind, please explain them along with an example, so that no, they will know how confident you are on your subject, okay. These are the do's and don'ts. Yeah, LinkedIn profile. As I said, try to build your LinkedIn profile, update with data science skills, and get the endorsements from the data science people who are experts on the LinkedIn. And yeah, your batchmates will be on LinkedIn, your peers will be on LinkedIn. So get them endorsed and keep on updating your profile on LinkedIn, and build decent activities related to DS postings, I mean data science postings, by commenting, sharing data science related contents. Like if you see any data science related articles or blogs or whatever, you can share them. And you need not mention any online. As I said, you need not mention any online course certification number if you're an experienced person, okay. All in all, what I can tell you is your profile should look like a data scientist, right? Okay, just give me a minute. So this is LinkedIn, right? Please hold on. Please hold on. Yeah. Yeah, this is how a LinkedIn profiles look like. Yeah, see, this is how you need to put your profile, your name, your designation, your organization name. It's always good to give your contact information. If you have any person, if any HR or recruiter is trying to find what to say, find your contact. If your resume looks good for a entry level or fresher position. If they want to contact you, they can immediately contact you with the contact information you have given on the profile, right? So you need when you can give this contact information, they will try to reach you, right? So better you can give, yeah, you can add your contact information on your LinkedIn profile. Okay. And this is about yourself, or the summary you can give, in detail what are the skills and all. And yeah, your designation, your company name and all this thing. And yeah, your job description, education I said, right? Institute name, uh, degree, you whatever degree you hold, and the years. And this is the skills and endorsement part, where you can ask your peers to endorse for your skills. Now let us see few sample resumes. See, he is a data science intern, right? Fresher kind of. He's working as an intern. Okay, his name. He wrote 2 lines about himself. No, nothing much to tell, right? I pursue data science from Innovatatics Research Labs. Currently, I'm an intern at Innodatatics. So, data science, internet Innovatatics Research Labs. Okay, advanced machine learning trainee. Okay, he was. Uh, this is how a fresher resume looks like. Okay, you just need to give the uh, whatever you have done in your training part, and this is how you write data science interns, right? So data science interns, Jan 20,000 in 2021 to present, he's working as a data science intern. See, this is a sample resume, professional summary. This is summary, education, the technical skills, the programming skills, the libraries, the languages. He is he's working as a project intern, and description of the projects, tools used, libraries used, business benefits, name of the project, the description, and the certifications, the professional summary, education, technical skills, projects, tools used, certifications. Projects you can elaborate more, client name, description, tools used, library. This depends upon you yourself, that how you write and all. This is how a sample resume looks like, and this is how a LinkedIn profile looks like. Okay. It's coming to the next slide. As I said, how you should grow your network. You need to build and update the LinkedIn profile, get endorsements done, keep writing articles and publish them in social media. Try to participate in the open discussion threads. Okay, that way you'll know what is the opposite person, I mean, other people are doing, and try to participate in the workshops or competitions as well. Okay. And Yeah, try to increase your connections on the in data science network, or try to reach people on LinkedIn who are into data science. Try to target the companies, core companies upcoming in emerging in this space of data science. Target the recruiters, talent acquisition people, HR executives, managers in the core data analytics thing, because now hope you have seen when I was trying to find something on LinkedIn also. When I put this data science intern, I don't know if you people observed or not. There were some people who were uh, into role of hiring this thing, and they were writing like hiring for data science interns, such kind of thing. You need to maintain. You need to connect for such people, and always try to follow them. Whenever there are opportunities, they will be posting them on LinkedIn, right? So you need to apply. There is success rate through LinkedIn as well. When you apply on LinkedIn also, there is a lot of success rate. So target people who are into data analytics, core data analytics companies, like hiring authority people, okay, or HRs or talent acquisition people, whatever, whoever. Said you can send connection messages saying that looking for new opportunities. Try to keep a note or message, which is short, like highlighting your skills. Like, I'm a data science intern looking for a new project, a new job, or new opportunity. And I'm strong at the skills like R, Python, ML, machine learning, AI, SQL, and Tableau. Such kind of things can be asked. And you should give short message, not more than 1 or 2 lines. Even LinkedIn has a message limitation, but yeah, while sending the connection itself, you can send the connection message too. This will help, right? You When you are in their contacts list, it will be more easy. Like, they will see if you're in a connection, they'll give you the preference, and they will also try to shortlist a profile for the further process if their resume looks good. Okay, so as a reason, building a resume in a proper manner is really a very very important task. Once your resume looks good on paper or digital or soft copy, it would be good enough to apply for the jobs. Okay, now let me see if I have any questions for me. Give me a minute, hold on please. Okay, I have a question from Shahina Athar, asking, please give good resume building website link. There is no such, Shahina. Let me tell you, there is no such thing called resume building link. You need to prepare your profile by seeing at the example, or no, as I showed you on LinkedIn. Try to search on LinkedIn. Try to first log in on LinkedIn. Try get a account on LinkedIn. It's a free of cost. So it is a really very good professional network where you can maintain, and you try to find the candidates, or sorry, why try to find the profiles who are data science interns. The way I search, you will automatically get the people's profiles where you can take whatever you want. The experience you have, right? You can prepare it accordingly. Okay, and one more question. Show me sample resume. Yeah, I've done that. Can we get the format of a resume? I didn't get you. What, Oswin? This question is from Oswin. Oswin, I did not understand. Like, can we get the format of resume? What format you are referring for? I didn't get you. Um, as the two sample resumes which I showed are no, those are not the formats, but those are the resumes who already all the participants have prepared them. Moving forward, like I'll try to find more and more sample resumes like this, and I'll keep you all posted on the next week session, okay, so that you can understand how to prepare. Today I just brought in only two profiles, right? I understand you have a challenge where you need to you want to prepare a profile for yourself, right? So it would be better if you can post something else, like, where you stand, like, are you a fresher or the experience, or what format you exactly need for a resume. Okay, hope this answers your question, Oswin. Yeah, anything else? Okay, I think that's it for me. Anyways, I think I have achieved my goal. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Deepti? Deepti? Deepti, are you there? Deepti? Deepti? Deepti, are you there?
I'm there, I'm there. I'm starting.
Okay, okay.
Good evening, everyone. Once again, welcome back to the session. Welcome to the interview preparation session as well. So let's begin. Yeah, so by k-means clustering fails was the last question here. Okay, so we have to understand few things here, right? Whenever you have outliers in your data, right? You have outliers in your data. There is an option that you go for what it is nothing but called as k median. So how would you explain k median? What is the basis it takes to perform k median? So you're calculating the median for each cluster to determine its centroid. Okay. To determine the centroid. Right? Then you also have k medoids. Right? So you try to find out some representative objects called medoids in the cluster, but these medoids would work effectively only for mostly all the time for smaller data sets. Okay, if you have to think of this advantages of k medoids, right? It is very, very simple, right? Advantages, they're very simple to understand. They are easy to understand. Right? And when you take this k-medoids clustering, right? It is very, very fast and it will reach to the convergence point also very quickly. It reaches to the convergence point very quickly. So the number of steps it takes. And also because it is medoids calculation, it is very less sensitive to outliers. But the only thing you have here, disadvantages, is that it is not suitable for non-spherical objects. Not suitable for non-spherical group of objects. Okay, so this is our midoids. So then you have many other partitioning methods like Clara, right? Clarence. Every algorithm has its own advantages and disadvantages. So now when you're talking about hierarchical approach, right? They were partitioning methods, right? So we can talk about the hierarchical approach. So this hierarchical approach, hierarchical clustering. What is the difference now between k-means and hierarchical clustering? Good thing is that it does not require any k value. Right? You need not upfront decide the number of clusters. What is hierarchical clustering? So hierarchical clustering is, you can call it as, it starts with n records and forms a macro cluster. Right? So all mini things, they can combine, okay, and they become one cluster, which is a macro cluster. Basically, how many types you have? Like they are segregated into hierarchical cluster. Hierarchical cluster is basically agglomerative. Exactly. Similar group of people are put into the clusters. So it is nothing but agglomerative, and you have divisive. Right? Agglomerative and divisive. So what happens in agglomerative clustering? Explain the steps of agglomerative clustering. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, divisive. What are the steps in agglomerative? So first step, it starts with n records, that is correct. But what is that it does? It will try to link the pairs of the clusters until every object is included. So it will take n clusters. It uses distance metric, right? And you'll get a matrix which is called as Euclidean. If you're using Euclidean distance, you'll get a Euclidean distance matrix, right? And then you go on in an combining them, right? So if you go on in a non-descending fashion, you decompose your data into several levels where you have a nested partitioning like this, right? Where these are partitioned. So you try to get dendrogram, right? And the height of this dendrogram, it denotes that at what level these people or these records are getting merged. So generally now, how many clusters are required is done in agglomerative using only a dendrogram. So clustering of the data objects is obtained by cutting your dendrogram. You cut your dendrogram at desired levels. So wherever you cut, you get the number of clusterings. The good thing is that you can find the natural grouping, right? It is very much easy to define your number of clusters, right? But the bad thing here is that K, like K means, this is also sensitive to outliers. And the merging, whatever you have done, you can't again remerge them or you can't place them again. So you cannot change those mergings. So this is available in which package? sklearn package .clust, right? In this, you are importing your agglomerative clustering. Right? So exactly opposite of this is your divisive approach. So what is divisive clustering? It will have n data points in a cluster. After every iteration, it will try to remove the dissimilar data points, right? It keeps on doing that until everything is in hand, like everything is recorded properly, like all the clusters are having maximum similarities, right? That is one thing we can see with divisive clustering. Okay, now yeah, explain the phrase curse of dimensionality. Explain the curse of dimensionality. What is curse of dimensionality? So curse of dimensionality refers to a situation where you have too many features. So the phrase is used to express the difficulty, right? So that you have to use a function with too many inputs, right? So you can have several issues. If you have more features than your observations, definitely we'll have a problem of overfitting the model. We have too many features, observations would become very, very tough for them to make clusters. And if you have so many features or so many dimensions, it does not make sense or it's not meaningful that we can say that the cluster formation is perfect. So to solve this problem of dimensionality problem, the curse of dimensionality, what is the solution you all have? It is nothing but your principal component analysis. Now, what is PCA? How do you explain PCA? What is PCA? Principal component analysis. So the idea behind this PCA is to reduce the dimensionality of the data set, and you are trying to reduce the number of variables, and if at all those variables are having correlation, if they are correlated with each other. But the variation needs to be maintained. It has to retain till your maximum extent. So the variables means the dimensions, these are transformed into a new set of variables. Those are nothing but called as principal components. You get something called as PCs, which are nothing but the eigenvectors of your covariance matrix, and also therefore they are orthogonal, right? They are orthogonal. So whenever you are talking about PCA, right, the principal component analysis, whatever PCs you get, right, they will be uncorrelated, which is a problem of correlation can be solved, right? And also you can have a look of your uh, relation between two PCs in a two-dimensional space, right? It is a kind of feature extraction. It's a kind of feature extraction. So next, why is the rotation of these components why is this rotation of the components so important in PCA? What is this? Rotation in PCA is very, very important because, yeah, tell me the answer first. Try. It tries to maximize the separation within the variance. The variance is obtained by each of the PC, right? So the variance is obtained by all the components, because of which the interpretation of the PCs is becoming very, very easier. If the components are not rotated, then what will happen? Then we need extended components to describe the variance of all the components. So rotation of the components is very, very important, because to understand the variance, and that maximum variance is obtained by the first PC, and it decreases as the number of PCs are increasing. Like first PC would capture maximum information, second PC would capture the next least, third the next least, fourth the next least. Okay. What is the difference between normalization and regularization? What is the difference between normalization and regularization? What is this? So normalization is something you are doing as a part of your making your data scale free, right? It will adjust the data. But regularization is adjusting the prediction function, right? If at all your data is on different scales, right? Definitely you want to do normalization. So you alter each column to have something like compactable, what you say, with basic stats. So there's no loss of accuracy is happening. So one of the goals of the model training is to identify the signal, and it should ignore the noise. And if the model is given, a model gives you a minimum error, right? Or there is some situation, whether it is like overfitting problem, regularization imposes some control on this. So by providing some simpler fitting functions over complex ones, so it will help you to reduce your overfitting. Whereas normalization is helping you to find out the data, either it is scale free or not. Okay, next. And we all know the difference between normalization and standardization also, right? Both are different methods where you have this. Okay. What do you mean by association rule mining? Association rule mining. What is this? So association rule mining is one of the techniques to discover patterns of the data, right? Where it's mostly related to market basket analysis, preferably, right? About transaction data, right? So association rules have to satisfy minimum support and minimum confidence at the very same time, right? So it is consists of two steps: a minimum support threshold. Yeah, a minimum support threshold is given to obtain all the frequent item sets in a database. A minimum confidence constraint is given to these frequent item sets in order to form the association rules. So now what is the performance, what are the performance measures with respect to association rules? You have three performance measures, right? What are they? What are the performance measures? First you have the support, then you have your confidence, then you have your lift. If they may also ask you like, how do you quantify the rules? Strength of rules, right? So you should be able to say that you should have support, you will calculate your confidence, you calculate your lift ratio. So what are the rules in association mining, also called as? Okay, let me write it. Association rules, also called as A priori rules. They are called as if and then probabilistic statements, right? They are called as if and then probabilistic statements. So we all know that the default data structure for performing association rules should be a transaction data, right? That is a default data structure for performing your association rules, which is a transaction data. So you should have sometimes the thing like the support should be good enough. With the minimum confidence is what you prefer usually, right? The minimum confidence constraint is given to all the frequency item sets in order to get your association rules, but only if you are having, only if at all you are having high support products, right? It is not the correct way. If you're only considering one measure, which is support, then what is happening to the number of rules? That is the biggest challenge, right? What is the challenge while performing association mining? What is the challenge in performing AR? What is the challenge we face in association rule mining when we try to get rules? Number of pairs keep on increasing, right? The rules should satisfy all the combinations. If a single person is having 20, 30 transactional data, it means for one bill you have 30 items. How many combinations, how many pairs will form? It's the biggest challenge. The number of pairs grow in number, and the combinations to calculate, they are increasing exponentially. So it's the biggest challenge. Yeah, if Shita has answered, then a priori. Kirti has answered a priori. To reduce the number of rules, you are setting something called as minimum support criteria. Because the rules are exponentially increasing, the combinations are increasing, the rules are getting increased. So what you have to do? You have to go for some different method, right? Which is nothing but a priori algorithm. So explain a priori algorithm, the steps. What will you do if you are going for a priori algorithm? So a priori algorithm is something where you set your minimum support criteria, right? Which is of your choice, right? A priori algorithm, take this, you set your minimum support criteria. Then based on that particular K value, you start building the combinations. First, you'll start with one item sets. Then you go with two item sets. You keep on increasing the value till you finish your K item sets. Right? You finish your K item sets. So till that is over, you will be keep on checking these things. Okay. So whenever you are doing this, definitely if at all you are setting a minimum support criteria to 4. So if that particular item comes in the combination satisfying this 4 times, then only that will be taken into consideration. If item first transaction number of items are there. If the combination repeats 4 times, then only you consider that particular product. So number of rules definitely will come down if you are using a priori algorithm, right? So to quantify the strength of the rules, you check with support, check with confidence, check with lift ratio. Where support is nothing but it captures a frequency, number of transactions with your antecedent and consequent by total number of transactions is support. Right? It is your support. Now, when we said if and then probabilistic statements, after if you always have antecedent, then you have consequent. So support is nothing but you are trying to calculate frequency. Which combis are being sold out at maximum rate? Number, count. Right? Like milk and banana, shampoo and conditioner. What is a combinational product which is on high sales? Is captured in support. But just because people purchase the shampoo, they are purchasing conditioner, or they are purchasing conditioner then shampoo. Which one they are putting in their basket? That is not understood in support. Right? Definitely support is represented as probability, if part and then part. So we are unable to capture the dependency. This is given more importance or this is given importance. This or this. Because they have purchased this, they have purchased conditioner. No, they have purchased condition, they have purchased shampoo. So that is a reason here that is not being captured in all the three. Sorry, I forgot to write that question. How do you quantify? So to solve the problem of support, where we are going? What is the next measure we have to check for? Come on. You got to know that you should have support minimum support criteria, check with a priori algorithm. Good. What else? Then you have your confidence, right? You have to check with your confidence. So what is that you check here? For confidence, what is that confidence capturing? What is confidence capturing? It is nothing but it captures a dependency. It is capturing dependency exactly. When you have confidence, it is capturing the dependency where you calculate confidence with respect to conditional probability. Right? You consider conditional probability. If the ratio of number of transactions that include all the items in B as well as all the items in A by total number of transactions that include A, right? Total number of transactions that include A. That is nothing but your confidence with respect to conditional probability. It is capturing the dependency. So people are preferring which one first? They are purchasing first what product and second what product. But sometimes what happens, when you are trying to get this relationship, get the dependency, sometimes it so happens that your product, whatever we got here, if at all you have very, very high support products, right? You have very, very high support products. That time what happens? Support will not work. High support products, confidence would get biased confidence. Right? Support can be calculated as a fraction of rows containing both A and B by total. Confidence is nothing but B condition A. Means B event A has already occurred. Right? That people have already purchased this product. You are after they purchase this product, what is the probability that they buy this product? Right? Because of high confidence you are getting, sometimes because of high support products you are getting very, very high confidence, that will lead to wrong analysis. So we have even a drawback about the individual product. It is nothing but individual product dependency is not captured. So for that reason we have one more measure which is called as lift ratio. Right? This is one more which is called as lift ratio. What is lift ratio now? It captures dependency and also the independency. Right? It is nothing but confidence, which is nothing but capturing the dependency. You divide that confidence dependency with benchmark confidence. Right? Confidence by benchmark confidence, where this benchmark confidence will capture the independency, how independent they are. Right? You assume that your A, antecedent and consequent are independent to each other. So you divide P of A and C by P of C, which is nothing but your lift ratio. Do you have any threshold point for lift ratio? Do you have any threshold point for lift ratio? What should be the number for that to think that the rules are perfect? Of course, yes, right? All the values what you get, they should be greater than 1. Right? Lift ratio should be always greater than 1. Then only you can consider those rules. Otherwise, it becomes blunder, right? Dependency and independence is equal to 1. It becomes something like that. Right? So, if at all you have lift ratio greater than 1, then it is a perfect association. Association between your antecedent and consequent is high. Right? So lift ratio is nothing but confidence by benchmark confidence, and which is capturing the dependency by independency of the product. But there is one drawback for this lift ratio. What is the drawback of lift ratio? What is the drawback of lift ratio? Exactly. Lift ratio should be greater than 1. What is the drawback of lift ratio? Profusion of rules. Profusion of rules is a drawback. See, every performance measure has got some or other drawback, right? So to solve the issue of lift ratio, right, there is something called as profusion of rules, which is a drawback. What you have to do? Different combinations would have same lift ratio will be different, but the combinations would repeat again and again, right? So to quantify the importance of association of products within an item set, you generate the list of items, you identify the important ones, and whichever are not so repeatedly coming up in the transaction data, you remove them, right? So to come up with the most important association rules, a priori will help you to do that. But for provision of rules, we have to write one, you should check, you have to create a custom function or something like that to do it. There is no proper pattern or something to quantify whether the lift ratio greater than 1 is the combinations are not getting repeated. Same item can be there with different lift ratios, same combination can become with different lift ratios. How do you choose that? It's difficult for us, right? So that is something what we see here in association rules. Next, so whenever you're talking about unsupervised learning techniques, right, usually we have no question of understanding the errors. There are no evaluation metrics, right? There are no conditions to be satisfied. There is no question of errors and all that. But when it comes to supervised learning algorithms, we have many things to understand, right? So what happens in linear regression? What happens in linear regression? So linear regression can be defined as a mathematical function, right, on a 2D plane. So y is nothing but your mx plus c. So y is a dependent variable, right? X is independent variable and c is intercept and m is your slope, right? So y is always a function of x. At any given x, you can compute the value of y using the equation of a straight line, and the relationship between y and x, we can say with 1-degree polynomial, it is called as linear regression. Generally in predictive modeling, you call it as y equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2. Beta 1 and beta 2 determines the strength of the correlation between your features and your dependent variable, right? So these are given by the algorithm. These are nothing but called as your estimates or parameters or coefficients. But when it comes to the basic question here, how do you differentiate with regression and classification? How do you differentiate like explain the difference between regression and classification? They are under the same umbrella of your supervised learning only. Both are under your same. Both are under supervised learning algorithm. The only difference, the mostly, is output being here numeric Here your output is non-numeric. The main difference here. So usually when it is categorical, you go for classification. When it is numeric, you go for regression technique. So there's something called as target imbalance. How do you fix that problem? If at all you have a target which is imbalanced, you have to perform analysis on imbalanced data sets. Which metrics you use, which algorithms do you find suitable for imbalanced data sets? Definitely you will have categorical variables as target. Then only you check in proportion whether it is balanced or imbalanced. Right? So when you cluster them together or you perform a frequency count on them, sometimes it becomes imbalanced, right? Your proportions would not match. It is nothing but you call it as target imbalance. Right? You have Y being categorical, unequal number of your two categories there. When you perform the proportion or when you perform frequency count, you will get to know that like number of spam messages and ham messages are not equal. It's imbalanced. Okay, so we perform. How do you fix this problem? How do you fix this problem? You perform upsampling or downsampling. Okay, and also you have to perform upsampling or downsampling, or you have to go for different search techniques. Okay, and how do you evaluate this? How do you evaluate such data sets? Target is imbalance means it is categorical, means you have only one option, right? Confusion matrix, right? You will go for confusion matrix. After fixing this problem, we can shift your metric system for calculating your area under the curve also, that is ROC also. Since we add or deleted the data, we do upsampling and downsampling. What we can do, we can also go ahead with very other strict algorithms like ADA boost or gradient boost or SVM, right? So that is one thing what we can do if at all you have imbalanced data set. Okay, is it possible for KNN is it possible to use KNN for image processing? Can we use this for image processing? Yes, it is possible, friends. It is possible to do KNN for image processing, right? So what will you do? You will have your image, you will use your ReLU function, you do pooling, you convert everything properly, you flatten it, right? Then you pass KNN. When you flatten it, it's KNN. Then you simplify it, whether it is an elephant, whether it is a human, whether it is a monkey. Right? So it is possible because it can be done by converting any three-dimensional image into a single dimensional vector and using the same as input to your KNN. Right? And we have a very good name for KNN also. What is the name? Other name for KNN? Very famous name is there for KNN. It is a lazy learner. Right? The other name here is KN is a lazy learner. Justify your answer. Why it is called so? Yes, because it does not learn any machine learned values or variables from the training data. Everything it does is a dynamically calculates a distance every time it wants to classify. It just learns less like that. So every time it wants to classify, hence it memorizes the training data set instead. Okay, it will not learn anything from anything about the variables or nothing like that. Dynamically it performs. So it's very lazy. It never tries to learn also. That's why it is called as a lazy learner. Right? Okay. Just a minute. Okay. So we have seen some random questions today. Right? Okay. Lastly, one question we'll take and we'll stop for the day. How can we use data set without target variable into supervised learning algorithms? Use a data set without a target variables. Can we do that without target variables? If at all you have a data set? Okay, we can do it. So what you do is you input the data set into a clustering algorithm. You generate optimal clusters. You label the cluster numbers as a new target variable. Right? The new clusters, whatever they have formed, they are your new target variables. Now your data set is having independent and the target variables are also present. Now it is ready to use for a supervised learning algorithm. It's like a cocktail model. You are using unsupervised first, then you are making it into supervised. Okay, take clustering. Whatever cluster labels you get, that will be your target variable. Rest of them will be as is. Combine it, now you have a target variable, apply supervised learning algorithm. Okay, we'll stop here. Thank you all for joining the session. We'll connect next week. Thank you.